Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to learn a bit about if statements, if then else statements, and we might do a bit of string manipulation along the way. To make it a bit more interesting, we might incorporate some of the function lessons from lesson 2, I think. So, an if statement is a lot of times in code when you want to do something but it depends on something else. So you might want to do something if the colour is black, or if it's not black, do something else. And you can do that using an if statement in your code. So for example, we'll have a constant variable called my name. And we will set that to mode code. And we could have a if statement, and in your if statement what you have is generally a set of normal brackets and a set of curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets you want to put what you're checking. So for example, if my name equals mode code, and then in the curly brackets is the code block that you're going to execute if your name matches, or if the clause inside the brackets is true. I think that's the better way of putting it. So in here I could put console log hello mode, and if I run this, fairly obviously it will say hello mode. Now this is the simplest if block. What you'd normally get is an else as well, because obviously not every this clause is not going to be true every time. So what you can say is, if it is true, do this, or do whatever you want in your code block, but otherwise you can write something else. You're not mode. And if I was just to change my name there and run it, it knows it's done the check to see if mode is equal to mode code, which obviously it is not, and therefore it would go into the else statement in here. So let's get rid of that quick, and let's go to lesson 2 and just copy out this function. So within this code block, obviously we are writing a sentence theoretically to say hello, and what I want to say is, actually it depends who we're saying hello to say whether we're going to say hello or not, for example. So I can have my if block inside my code block in the function to say if words equals mode code, and after that I've got my code block again. And what I can do as well is change how I'm setting this variable up. So I'll create my full sentence variable as a blank string, but I've let it because I know it'll be changed at some point. So if the words equal mode code, then I will come in here and I will say hello to mode code. But if not, I can say hey. and then as before we can return that full sentence. So again, in lesson 2, this was what was called so if I run this now, we would expect these words to be passed into the function as the variable words. We would create a variable called full sentence. We would then use an if statement to generate that full sentence, and then we would return it. It would get returned out of write hello to me into the after function variable, which we would then console log out. So if I run this lesson now, it says hello mode code, and if I say change these words to mode and run this, it goes, hey mode, you're not mode code, which is exactly what we wanted to say, which is great. So we've learned a bit about words, a bit about if statements, a bit about code blocks within your function blocks, and I hope this was useful, and I will see you at the next one.